Is this Fire Cashman night real? And will it do anything? Let's discuss on today's Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB or enter promo code LockedOnMLB for a free white tech hat with any order. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you. And it's true because I have two pairs and they're very good. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve, you love your Bird Dogs, don't you?
I do. And you know what else I love is the Yankees did not lose yesterday.
I know. It's a miracle.
The streak stands at 8. Thanks, guys, for clicking on today's show. And not only that, thanks for 4,000 subs. Nice little round of applause for everybody. Can we hit, this is lofty, I know, 5,000 by the end of the season? We know we have a bunch of regular viewers that join here and don't subscribe. So if you're on the YouTube side, you got to hit subscribe. So thank you so much for 4,000 YouTube subs. We really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. We have a preview of this week's set against the Nationals. Of course, we also have our bold predictions coming up later on in the show. The Yankees have a big old game to play next season in 2024 against the Detroit Tigers. We'll tell you about the details about that, why that matters, and our thoughts on it as a whole. But first, Stacey, okay, if you don't know about this Fire Brian Cashman night thing, let's talk about it. I'm going to take this from the New York Post. I'm going to read it for you. It's linked in the episode description if you want to read further about it. It says, quote, ticked off Bronx Bombers superfan John Borowski has had enough of the team's freefall, on pace for his worst season since 92, and is rallying the hardcore fans on social media to oust the team's in-battle general manager, Brian Cashman. Borowski has declared that September 22nd home game against the Diamondbacks, Fire Cashman night. Quote, it's been in the back of my mind for a while, noting he decided to step up to the plate and plan the protest when Cashman did virtually nothing to improve the floundering last place club at the trade deadline, end quote. Again, that is linked in the episode description if you want to read further on that from the New York Post. Stacey, Fire Cashman night. Are you buying or selling on Fire Cashman night? Just the idea of it. Let's not get too deep into it there, but just the idea of this night organized by a fan.
I mean, it's interesting. It's been a while since Yankee fans have been this pissed off at someone in the Yankees organization. I mean, I'm trying to remember the last time they tried to rally to do something like this. I don't know how that's going to go over. And the Yankees are very, they're sticklers with things you wear. So people, if they're planning on wearing anything that says Fire Cashman or have a sign that says it, security's probably going to check you. So you're going to have to wear layers, just so you know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying it.
You don't think you're buying it?
I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people, because people always think that everyone's on social media. Not everyone is. And I know it's in the New York Post now, but I feel like the people who would do it are mainly on social media. I don't know. And maybe more Facebook people. And I don't know. I don't know how well it would go.
Okay. I hear you. The idea of it as a whole, to me, I'm like, sure, go for it, bro. The thing interestingly here for me is, yes, it's in the Post, and maybe 20 years ago that had a little more traction to it than it does in 2023, just print media, whatever. We don't have to get into that. But yeah. We're talking about it a month out. So right. There is time to get the word out here. It's not like it's
That's
tomorrow,
true.
And it's like, that's not going to. There's time for this to catch steam.
Oh, and there's time for this to catch steam with the team being really hot. I mean, if they keep losing the way they're losing, when September 22nd comes around, people are going to be outside of the stadium with pitchforks and torches at this point.
I don't think you're wrong there. At all. The one thing we can kind of look to point to this, and we briefly mentioned on yesterday's show, Stacey, was how the Oakland A fan base has handled this season. There was the reverse boycott night, right, a couple of months ago, which has kind of reverberated a little bit throughout Major League Baseball's fan bases,
Mhm.
which, as much as it pains me to say, money talks, and there's more money in Las Vegas than there is in Oakland in the minds, in the crooked minds of rich people.
Right.
So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to do anything whatsoever. It hasn't done anything to this point. Major League Baseball in itself, Rob Manfred kind of mocked it when it happened. So that tells you all you need to know about that. Again, we don't
Yeah.
have to get into that. But I do, I'm a big power to the people guy. I love that. And look, the A's stuff is still going.
Yep.
There are still sell chants, the sell the team chants are still happening across baseball whenever the A's play.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I love fan bases that share their sentiment.
Yeah. And, to go along with the Cashman thing, he was booed earlier in the season when he was on the field. I can't remember what he was there for, whose number was being retired. Someone's number was being retired, and they were booing him vociferously. And this was before the Yankees even really fell apart. Like, they were just pissy, and they booed Hal as well. So, yeah, as you said, it is a month from now. So maybe, oh boy, this could be something. It's been a while since Yankee fans have been riled up about something negative because, we've been coasting for years. Sure, there were like smattering years where there were missed playoff appearances and stuff, but the downward trend since 2017, although 2019 wasn't really down, they made the ALCS. But I really feel like the last straw was getting swept out of the ALCS, not really doing much other than Rodon and Judge to improve the team because everyone knew they needed a left fielder. And Hal's comments about why is everyone so upset the third week of June? It's like, because we all saw this coming, Hal. So I've kind of changed my mind about this, and I'm kind of looking forward to September 22nd because I feel like it might be the most rowdy night at Yankee Stadium that we've seen in a while, other than a playoff game.
Yeah, a different type of rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, if this thing keeps gaining traction, are you interested in going?
Ooh, yes, I am actually. Just as an
I know you
observer.
haven't been to a game this year.
I have not. And that might be the one that gets me there. That might be the one that gets me there.
Look out for Stace.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to use this also as a springboard to, again, the power to the people stuff I love. And I love that that Major League fan bases are trying to have their voices heard. And I've seen a lot of comments, not only on our YouTube channel, but online just as a whole, of people calling for kind of like these soft boycotts of going to Yankees games. And I said it months ago and got flack for it, that does nothing. And I'm sticking strong to it, that type of quote unquote protest does nothing. You got to remember the machine that is the New York Yankees. You buying a ticket is the smallest part of their income. The sales of hats from across the globe alone outweighs your nosebleed seat, unfortunately.
True.
That's just not that just doesn't move the needle for them at all.
But I feel like that's true. But I also feel like Hal could be embarrassed by the fact that, like, on a September evening that would normally see 30,000 people, that there's maybe only like 5,000 at a Yankee game. Like, just maybe like one game where something like that happens, and he's kind of like,
something like that, yes. But I think when you're trying to channel your anger in one direction, trying to get 30,000 people to not buy tickets for a specific night is way harder than trying to get 30,000 people to buy tickets for a specific night. So It's way easier to have your voices heard in a night like Fire Cashman night than it is boycott September 22nd.
Yeah, that's true.
When it's everyone on September 22nd chant this, that is going to resoundingly be more heard than people trying to get people to not show up, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
All chanting the same thing, all yelling the same thing, all wearing certain shirts, those things, just think of like in the positive sense, when a team gives out like, it's a whiteout night, at the San Diego State game, and everyone's wearing white, how cool that looks. Or everyone gets orange rally towels at the Flyers game. that type of thing plays so much better because of how it looks. And if everyone's wearing the green cell shirt, you can't hide that. And you can't silence 30,000 people all at once on NBC Valley, whatever, NBC Bay Area, just like you couldn't silence everyone for multiple innings chanting Fire Cashman on Yes. You're not going to be able to do it. You have to turn the mics off. And even then, it'll be picked up on Michael K's headset. So like you can't. You just can't. As much as we've seen Major League Baseball try to hide the sell signs during A's games. We saw that earlier this year during their replays and stuff and just video clips. You can't silence everyone. Power to the people, man. Power to the people. Let us know how you're feeling about this down below. Are you interested in going? Do you think this has any steam? Do you think it'll move the needle? That's a whole nother discussion. Quickly, Stace, I don't think it'll do anything. It would have to be a resounding multiple days at a time to maybe even get in the ear. At the very least, it makes them have to address it, which is kind of fun of itself.
That's true.
Yeah. Let us know how you're feeling down below. We're going to step aside. When we come back, I wouldn't say big, but kind of a cool thing coming on for next season. We'll talk about it in 2024, and we'll talk about it next. This episode is brought to you by Bird Dogs. What's Bird Dogs? Well, I'm telling you, Bird Dogs is the best place to buy some men's shorts and pants that come with a built-in liner. They sent us Locked On hosts a couple of shorts and pants throughout the season, and I've been wearing them regularly throughout the year. I love them. It was like when we recorded this episode on Monday, it was like the nicest day of the summer in Southern California. I wore my Bird Dogs. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my shorts out. I'm going to go enjoy the day. The sun's out. The sky is clear. The hurricane has passed, and I'm wearing my Bird Dogs. They're super comfortable, they're versatile, and they're cheaper than other reputable brands. And of course, you Locked On Yankees listeners got the chance to get some free stuff when you place an order at birddogs.com. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB, enter the promo code LockedOnMLB, and they're going to throw in a free hat, a custom Bird Dogs hat with every order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB. Back here on Locked On Yankees, don't forget Yankees and Nationals tonight. You can listen to that game on SiriusXM. Download the SiriusXM app and get yourself set up there. Stace, tomorrow we're going to be recapping that game. You already know that. But today, I wanted to talk about this Little League Classic news. This is coming from ESPN via the Associated Press and, of course, multiple outlets reporting it. The New York Yankees will play the Detroit Tigers in the 2024 MLB Little League Classic on August 18th next year at Bowman Field. Detroit will be the home team for the game, originally scheduled at Comerica Park, where the teams will meet on August 16th and 17th. Both teams will attend Little League World Series games on August 18th. Stacey, your thoughts on the Little League Classic?
I think it's fun when they do that sort of thing. And I like that the Yankees are involved finally, because it's always fun to see these guys interact with the kids because they have that happen during the games and you see their personalities come out. And, most of these guys got their start in Little League. So it's fun to see them become kids again in a way. And I love that they do this. I think it's great.
I love the way the guys recently over the last few years have been kind of getting a little more funky with how they dress on those games, the bats, the cleats, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love seeing the specialty bats. I think that's the coolest thing. And for the record, just do that every day.
I know.
Let them use whatever bat they want, as long as it's not distracting or like super bright, whatever. Obviously you have to have some sort of stipulations, but just overall, just do that. It's awesome. Everyone loves it. Yeah, I think it's so cool that baseball does this. Look, I'm not sitting here watching the Little League Classic game every year. Like, that's not something I do.
Right.
But I've watched it in the past, especially if it's a team that I'm interested in watching, I'll watch it. I think that as far as like all the specialty games they do, this is maybe the lower end of the totem pole for a casual fan.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Field of Dreams game is awesome. I know it wasn't awesome for the Yankees, but that game as a whole and the production of it was great. And it has been great the last two times they've done it. But I especially on this last one with the Nationals, like seeing. I think that the cool part of it is like seeing like Joey Meneses signing autographs for the Team Mexico kids. That I'm just like, dude, that's the whole thing. Like this is the cool. Like this is if you're a little leaguer there, this is a dream come true. Like this is a fantasy. How freaking cool if you're like 12 years old and you're sitting next to Shohei watching a game. Like that is insane. That is insane. I love it.
Yeah. I do too. I think it's really cool. Again, I just like how into it the guys get because they know what it's like to be a kid in Little League, and they would have loved to have had something like this when they were kids. So they get it. They understand.
And I also, you do see sometimes those little kids are like asking players like specific like game stuff too. Like you'll see pitchers like showing them grips and how to do things. And like, I mean, to learn from a professional, not just a professional, but a major leaguer.
Yeah.
That's out of this world. Stacey, I kind of wanted to compare this to the Little League Classic and just how Major League Baseball started to expand these specialty type games. Like I mentioned Mexico, how they go down to Monterrey and play down there. The London series has been a thing recently. I mentioned the Field of Dreams game. Are there any other games that you have in your mind that Major League Baseball can expand upon, or maybe some brand new ideas? I mean, you compare it to other leagues. We've seen the NFL go to London. We've seen the NHL do their outdoor games, which has been a success as well. I mean, out here in California, they did it at Dodger Stadium. It was freaking awesome. They had like volleyball players, like Ducks Kings that day was awesome. Ducks won that game. Let's go. Beat the Kings on their home turf. But are there other specialty games that you think could kind of gain some traction in Major League Baseball?
Maybe like a League of Their Own game, and they could all wear skirts. I'm kidding.
I am not disinterested in that. I would love to see that.
I mean, a League of Their Own game would be kind of cool. I don't know about the skirts thing because most of those guys would be like, no. But I think that could be a cool theme to do.
Oh yeah, especially if you bring some of the AAG PBL girls, the veterans of that, if you will. Back out. I mean, because we've seen the specialty jerseys really take off recently too, with like the Negro Leagues jerseys like starting to become a thing both in major and minor league. I love that stuff.
Me too. That's really cool stuff. You mentioned the hockey games. My brother went to one of the Rangers. Oh God, was it Devils or Islanders at Yankee Stadium? And it was like 15 degrees out.
Yeah.
It was. I think it may have been the first one, and he was like, I'm never doing that again. He's like, never doing that again. I'm like, well, and I joked with him 10 years ago. I was like, well, with global warming, by the time we get to the 2020s, it'll be like 50 degrees all the time. In January, you won't have to worry about it. And
oops. A little too on the nose. Remember, I had a hurricane yesterday.
I know. And an earthquake. And an
earthquake at the same time.
Yeah.
During the show, no less. Every day I saw that. I would like, I've seen a lot of people clamoring for a Sandlot game.
Oh yeah,
that's a little tough logistically because that is like legitimately like someone's backyard.
Yeah, like you can't. Yeah, I mean,
it was in like Salt Lake. You can't just go to Salt Lake and build a stadium on someone's house.
Right. I mean, if there's a way that you can theme a place to make it seem like that, and then bring the actors and do like some sort of Sandlot theme, then yes, I could see that happening.
And they've seemed pretty game for it recently. Like they keep doing signings and touring and all this kind of stuff, like all the actors from that. There was a couple of years ago, the Lake Elsinore Storm, which were then the high A affiliate of the San Diego Padres, now the low A affiliate of the Padres. They did a home run derby on a battleship, like on an airline, like where they fly off of the coast, like the fighter jets fly off of the ships. Yeah. They did a home run derby on one of those.
Okay, that's cool.
So there's something that could, I mean, I don't think they mess with the derby because it's such a success. It's maybe one of the most successful events in all of North American professional sports.
Pretty much, yeah.
That isn't like the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl. Like, but I don't know. I mean, I'm game for doing like something like that where, I mean, we've seen like that bunt competition in Japan. Like I know they do the bunt competition, which is kind of really cool. I love when baseball gets funky with it, man. Try something new.
Yeah, it would be nice because they're always complaining about not getting new fans, and what's the way to get new fans is to try new things and be a little more daring and do things that people are interested in. And I don't know, maybe they could do like a hybrid of cornhole and baseball or something like that, because that's becoming popular.
Yeah, or pickleball.
I was going to
Pickleball
say
tournament.
pickleball. We have pickleball courts not too far from my house, and my mom's always joking with me, "Why don't you start playing pickleball?" I'm like, "Ma, you know how bad my knees are. No, no pickleball for me. Thank you."
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to think of like venues as a whole. I mean, what's great about baseball as opposed to other sports, and other sports are starting to get on board with this too, but just the way baseball is built is the cathedral aspect, the stadium aspect of it already lends itself to being one of the highlights of it. Like, I went to a Denver Nuggets game a couple of seasons ago. I'd never been to a professional sporting event there. And like, it's cool, but like, Ball Arena ain't exactly pulling people. You know what I mean? But Wrigley Field does. Like, it
Right.
doesn't matter how bad the Cubs are. They could be 20 and 100. You're still going to be like, well, I'm in Chicago. The Cubs are home. I'm going to go hit up Wrigley. So I
Yeah.
think that's the coolest thing. And to be able to take that a step further and again, create the Field of Dreams and have this little league thing. Like, baseball doesn't have a ton of wins all the time, but they do here. They totally do.
Yeah. It's the one good thing they do.
Hey, we do some things. We're figuring
Yeah.
some things out. I love playoff baseball, man. It still gets me every time. Let us know in the comment section. Do you have any ideas for specialty games? Are there any other expansive things that Major League Baseball can do, like these one-off games? I don't think you can go super hard into it. I mentioned the NHL. I feel like the outdoor game is starting to lose a little bit of its luster because there's so many of them, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
repeating teams too. Not gonna lie, like, it's the Penguins get it a lot, and you're like, all right, already. The Bruins get it. You're like, okay, can we get somebody else to get
Yeah.
this too?
Yeah.
So I'd like them to expand it outside of there. But I mean, hey, the Tigers getting this, like, that's cool, man. That's cool for the Tigers fan base too. So let us know how you're feeling about this, the Little League Classic, and are there any other specialty games that you would like to see Major League Baseball implement? All right, we're going to step aside one more time. We come back, our bold predictions for the National Series. Back now on Locked On Yankees. Don't forget, Nationals Yankees game 1 tonight. Will the streak head to 9 in a row? We're going to find out. You can find out on SiriusXM tonight. Listen to SiriusXM. You can download the SiriusXM app and listen to John and Susan on tonight's game. Tuesday night stays Josiah Gray versus Carlos Rodon. So Rodon's going to be activated tonight. They optioned Greg Weissert after Sunday's finale and then didn't announce a corresponding. So this will be the minimum time Rodon could have missed, which is, I guess, a good sign. Of course, he doesn't have to do a rehab or anything like that. So Rodon tonight, how you feeling?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like he screws up once, like gives up an early home run. It's going to be so bad. The booing is going to be so bad. I'm kind of worried. I'm just worried about how the fans are going to react to like one bad moment in the game. I just hope that he doesn't get hurt and that he can last more than 4 innings. That would be great.
Yeah, man, that I've noticed a trend. That number keeps going down.
I know.
That
I know.
number
Like,
keeps going down.
Could you just last 4? I'm not even asking for that many innings, Carlos, please.
Yeah, anything. Josiah Gray gets the ball for the Nats, which, by the way, the Nationals are playing good baseball. I mentioned they won that Little League Little League Classic on Sunday. Josiah Gray's given up 14 earned in his last 3 games, so he's starting to get hit around a little bit here recently. And don't forget, Rodon is coming back from the left hamstring strain, so keep your eye on the hamstring.
You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're thinking. Everydayers already know. So just don't even say it, Stacey. We'll be all right. It'll be all right. Is it gonna be 9 tonight?
God, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
It might. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. Ugh.
It does not. Nope.
Painful. Wednesday, Mackenzie Gore, the old Padres Soto trade against Sevy. That's not looking good either. Sevy pitched okay his last time out. Ish. For 2023, Sevy was good.
Yes.
Thursday finale. They haven't named a starter, but it's Randy Vasquez's spot. So we'll see if they go with opener or just let Vasquez start. They let Vasquez start last time. Patrick Corbin takes the ball in that game. So, I mean, a lot can happen between now and then.
All I'm thinking in my head is that line from Spinal Tap of that monitor going up to 11. This goes up to 11 because this could go up to 11 by the time this series ends with how everything is lined up right now. Just saying. Just saying.
Do you have any bold predictions, Stace? Bold predictions for this series? Remember, we've been on the positive end, so I'm curious to see what your path is here. We've had a lot of stinkers as far as our bold predictions. We haven't gotten a point in a while. You still lead in the season standings, 3 points to my 2.5. What's your bold prediction? Which direction are you taking?
Rodon goes 6 innings and only gives up 2 runs.
So you're staying positive. You're staying positive.
I am. I don't know why, but I am.
Okay, so big believer in yin and yang, positive and negative, balancing each other out, all that stuff. So I'm going to go on the negative side for the first time this year. I've never done this. Every Dares know I've never done this. And these are bold. Yankees get shut out in 2 of these 3 games.
That's not, I mean, it wouldn't be that much of a surprise.
I went bold. And I would like to, you know what? I'm going to do something else new.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to wager a 0.5 point. So if I get that correct, I win 1.5 points.
Okay.
I'm going to wager. If I'm incorrect, I lose 0.5 point.
Okay.
There you go. You heard it here. I put a wager on it this time. Didn't even use FanDuel either.
Yeah, I'm not putting a wager on mine.
You're not putting a wager on Rodon going 6?
No.
No. Bummer.
It'll be the opposite now. He's going to go 2 and give up 6.
Let us know down in the comment section here on YouTube your bold prediction. Of course, while you're down there, you can leave your questions for Fan Mail Friday, which is coming up on Friday. And if you want to skip that line, you can join our subtext. We have a whole bunch of subtexters. We're texting with them about the Fire Brian Cashman night. Got some thoughts about that, how people are feeling about it. And most people are like, have at it, bro. Whatever. Go for it. I feel like that's just kind of the general consensus of the rest of the season. Just have at it, bro. But of course, you can join our subtext. There's a 14-day free trial, and you get a whole bunch of perks alongside with it. In the episode description, there's information on that. And that's going to do it for today's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsulias. We will see you tomorrow.